In the last class, what we have done is, let me share my screen. In the last class, we just created a import set, and so we have just created the loaded the data and updated the same thing. So today, so I'm just going to open another yesterday's one. Sheets. So in the yesterday class, what happened? We just created an Excel sheet. So in that Excel sheet, we just upload the data, and whatever the data we have added, so we just add the same thing. So I think we don't need this in charge field. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to opening our what you call transform map. So this is the Narayana data upload. So I'm just opening this one. We have seen it yesterday. So the enforce mandatory fields, which means if you give any mandatory field, for example, all fields, and I am trying to upload the data. So if I'm trying to upload the data, what happened if there is no mandatory? So it will be automatic. Will not be data will not be uploaded. So let's see. Open this Excel sheet. So for this, I'm just changing these values. So I'm not adding anyone. I'm just adding a Kavita. Kavita at the rate gmail.com, and assume that I have not filled this with data, and also I'm just going to add one more user here, Sanjay Sharma. So Sanjay at the rate gmail.com. So now I'm sorry. So it's happy. So now what happened? I'm just going to update five fields, and I'm sorry, update one more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records, and I just want to update the created two fresh records. One is the name is empty, and another one is the all the values as filled. So now I'm just downloading this Excel sheet. Now I'm just going to load data. From the load data, we can add the same thing. So since we already created table, so we just use the existing table, and source of import is data source file, and I'm just going to create this one. Choose file, downloads. This is the record, and I'm just going to submit this one. Now what happened? What are the seven records? It has been done. So and go to the import set. So in that import set, this is our file. This is means that is we have loaded the data to the it and transform. So see there I can see there are seven records over there. And just click on the transform, and I'm trying to upload it. Click on transform, and it's been success. And let's see what happened. See here, there are one, two, three, four, five, six records or sorry, five records were updated, and one record was skipped it, and another record was inserted, which means we have making a field mandatory and other thing so that this record didn't add it to the record. So if you fill this something, this one, so Ayesha, for example, and I'm just going to download this again. So go to the load data and so this is the import set. I'm just going to trying to do it, and I'm just removing this one as unwanted, and click on the transform. So if you open, see, remaining there is for this one, Ram Shravan Prakash, sorry, Ram Shravan, Anush, and this Sanjay. The records were ignored. Why? Because there is no field value changes. So if there is no field value changes, if there is not agree, so the Prakash is updated and Manikanta is updated, and Ayesha, which we have given the new record, is inserted to the Narayana table. So if you want to, you can check the Narayana data. Let me open the same. See, see this Ayesha record is created here for the same thing. This is the basic thing scenario when we are dealing with the uh, import sets one. So this is what one you clear till now the import set manual imports how we can do it. There is another way of import also. So loading the file. Still now you guys are clear and any queries. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Now what I am going to do is so again I'm just going to the same thing. So here I'm just updating a few details. So for all the one I'm just marking as a one as a phone number. So till now what happened we will upload it in the directly. So now what I am going to do is I'm just going to download this one again. So till now what we have done is whenever if you go to the load data, so for example if you go to the load data, So we are using the source of import as a file. That means we will upload the file from here and we can do the same thing. Or else if you want to do it in a different way, for example, if you select it as a data source, it you can do the same thing. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to create a data source for this one. Data source. Sorry, I'm just creating a data source for here, and we'll do the some different configurations. So for and also whatever we have done, so it will always stored as a here. So whatever we have uploaded the files till now, these are all created as a data source for here. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to create new Narayana data upload. So here the only thing, what is the import set? Import set is nothing but what is the table we need to do it. So Narayana. So this is the one, right? So what is this label? Narayana data upload. The same thing. Oh my God. Okay. So Narayana data upload, and this is the type is file. We can tell you this was different things file, and the format I'm just going to given as a Excel format, and what is the sheet number for it. So by default we can give the sheet number one, and header row number also one. Which batch import, I think this we don't require. So application and file retrieve method is a there are different things. First we can do attachment, and here I'm just going to attach the same thing. So this is that we can download. So now the file is downloaded, and also I'm just going to save this record. So the now what happened that the data source was added. So I'm just going to close this one. So now what I am going to do is so now we'll just see how it is loaded. So now again go to the load data system import. Here, so since we already created a table, we don't need to create a table. And file source, sorry, source of imports. If we have already seen the example of the file, so we don't need here. So we can give the attach data source, and what is the data source here? So Narayana data upload, we can give it, and we can submit it. If submit, you can see there is total 7 records for there. The process. So this one, and there are 7 records are already there. So we need to do it, and I can just click on the transform. So if you click on the transform, it will be do something. So it got success. If you open this one, all the records has been updated. So if you want to, you can check the Narayana records. Narayana table. Oh my God, why the file? Oh my God. See, we have given as a phone number as a 111, but still it was differently changing. So why it was just check Narayana upload. So Narayana data upload. So it was the file value is changing differently. So let's see why it was. I'm so sorry. So if I open this one, what is the type of field it was? So as you can see, this type of field is a float. That's the reason it was saying. So I think we need to change this to integer file. I don't think we can. Okay. So what I'm going to do is Narayana data upload. Okay. It's a field type issue. So luckily we got an issue. So what I'm going to do is if you got this one, so I'm just going to delete this one. So if any data whether we cannot change the field type also, I'm just going to delete this data. So let me open this one. See, so now we can change this to integer so that we will not get any issues. Now we will do the again the data we can load the again. So go to the load data. So again the same thing. Import sets and open this one. Transform. Click on it. No field value changes. Oh my god. Okay. Just give me a minute, guys. So I'm just going to this one and saving this file, and I'm just going to the data source. So or else if you want to we can use the same thing also fresh file. So I'm just going to delete this file, removing, and I'm just going to upload the file again, the new thing. So the same thing I'm just going to submit. So we can use directly run transform. And so these are all updated. So for example, if you open this record, what is this? No phone number. See, what are the value we have given? It was there. Earlier, what happened? There is a phone issue, sorry, field type issue. That's the reason it was stored as a different values for it. I hope you guys clear or any other queries till now. Okay. So next we have a transform app scripts. What is that script? Transform app scripts. Transform app script is nothing but, see. So the transform app script is nothing but the scripts which are going to execute in the transform app script. So for this one, if I open a new, there are different types of transform app scripts. So the transform app scripts will be executed if the transform is happen to the same thing. For example, so if you see the on start, so the on start is nothing but, so the transform map script is not, what can I say? See, there are different type of transform map scripts for there, which is a on start. The first one on start is nothing but once the execution is started, so this will be executed, and once what you can say. See, on start will be executed once the data loaded started, and on after is nothing but once the data is loaded, this will execute, and before is nothing but it will check whether the record is loaded or not. Once the record is loaded, so it will be loaded for this one. And next one, on choice create is nothing but it will use it to create a choice. I think word required. On complete is nothing but whenever this has been completed record, so we can use the same thing. And on foreign insert is nothing but what is the different type of inserts, we can use the same thing. Foreign insert, that's a unique value, we can do the same thing. And on reject, whenever the record is rejected, so you can do it. So what I'm going to do is I am just getting on after script, and here there are two objects. Objects is nothing but when the business rule, that's a business rule, the objects were current and previous. That means whenever if you see some code, so it will be a executed uh, after the this one. But here what we have to do is uh, so here also we have two things. Source dot is an object, and target which we are seeing, I'm sorry. So target is nothing but it's also a one which is a target table. I'm sorry. I think maybe we can write here. We will form the transform map scripts. Transform map script is nothing but first one is on start. Second one is on after. Third one is on before. Fourth one is on choice create. And the next one is so on complete. Sixth one is on foreign insert. Maybe if you want to note it down, please note it down. And seventh is on reject. So on start is nothing but whenever on start is nothing but execute the start of the, so it will executes at the start of an import before any rows are read. That means before if any rows are read, it will execute. And on after is nothing but executes at the end of rows. So it will execute at the end of row transformation. So it will execute at the end of row transformation, which means row has been sent to the row has been do the Gandhi. And on before is nothing but, so on before is nothing but it will execute at the start of row transformation and before the row transform to the target row. That means it will execute it will execute at the end of a row transformation and so on, sorry, before, right before it will execute at the start and start, sorry, it will execute at the start of a row transformation. Transformation is nothing but sending the data. Row transformation and before the row is transformed to the turn. That means it will execute at the start date and whenever if the record is going to about to about to it was loaded, so it will good before the row is transformed transformed into the target. And the next one on choice create, so it will execute, these are definitions is very important, it will execute whenever executes at the start of, it executes at the start of a choice value at the end of choice value creation before new choice is created. That means if we create a choice action, we can do the same thing. So this definition is very important. Uncomplete is nothing but it will executes. Well, here you can see on after is nothing but it will executes once the record is for that row is completed. But here the on complete is nothing but once it will execute at the end of import after all rows are read and transformed. It means the data has we can change the all the stuff. So on foreign insert is nothing but execute at the start of creation. So it will execute. It will execute at the end of and it will execute at the start of the creation start of the creation of a related start of the creation of a related record. So related sorry of the creation of related reference reference record before, which means before it will before the record is created. So that means it will execute at the start of creation of the record. That means, for example, whenever if you use the type as a rejected for this one thing. So this foreign set one and this on reject will execute. It will execute during the same thing. It will execute during executes during foreign record or choice creation if the foreign record or choice is rejected. That means if the choice is not created or if the reference value is not created, then this will execute uh, choice is rejected. And also then this entire transformation will not be that means the entire row transformation the record will not be saved if you give as a reject. So that's why these are the basic things about the transform map. So if I'm going to repeat, so the first thing on start will be executed whenever if the start of before row import before any row read. That means before the data read, this will execute, and after it will execute at the end of row transformation and on before it will execute start of a row transformation before the row is transformed to the target row. That means if that row is nothing but one record, the value is go to the target record and then it will execute. And on choice create is nothing but it will create at the start of choice value creation before the new choice creation. And on complete it will executes when all the rows, that means all the data is inserted to the target table. And on foreign insert it will execute at the start of creation of a related reference record is before the record is created. So that one. And reject it will execute during the foreign record or choice creation if the foreign record or choice is rejected. So then this entire row transformation will be aborted for the same thing. So this is the basic thing about the one. So these are the fundamentals of this one. So basically for example I'm just writing after one script on after. So I just want to give target dot u underscore hostel equal to true. I'm just making and I'm just writing. So let's see the data. So right now, so I'm just going to reprocess. I'm sorry. I'm just going to open the import sets again. So going to here, reprocess it and transform. I don't think it will execute. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to. Okay. Again, I'm just going to load the data. Oh my god. Wait, wait. So load data for here. I'm just changing the value. So I'm just going to download this one. So for this record, we just met a target record as a target is nothing but what is a table we need to do it. And I'm just going to here and oh my god, the file is not separated and the record and this one run transform. So the records has been created for this one. The records has been updated and if I open this one, what happened? This is not done. So what happened? This is not updated here. So target dot hostel whether it is fair. So the transform map scripts where the exam, I think the scenario is the same thing. Let me check the date. So here, for example, so let's see. So I'm sorry, we have not given as update here. So let's try it again. Target that. I'm sorry, we have not given the update here. The script and let's try it. Same thing, which we already use the glide record the concept. So the same concept we can use this. I'm sorry. Go back. So reprocess. See, you can see here the record is saved as update. So unless earlier we use the ROM record, we can open the same thing. See, this is the one. Okay, I hope you got it or any confusion. The transform map, how we can write the execution. Like that, we can use the same thing. If you want to, we can use it. If state is AP, we can get a target at state equal to AP. Like these are all, we can write the same scenario. So we can use if else ladder, all the stuff. I hope you clear how we can write transform map script. Like the same thing we can write for all the stuff. The syntaxes and everything is same for each and every script. Okay. I hope you got it or any confusion. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Hello. Oh my god, even ఇవ్వట్లేదా? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. So nobody is not responded. I thought, okay. So here we can see there is a data source. If you want to manual upload, we can do the same thing. But if the data source, if you are going to create different types, here we have attachment is nothing but file return method. What is the attachment we have added to here? That means the attachment which we are going to attach to the data source, or if you give any different one, ftp, so we have to give what is a server, what is a file path, what is a username, and what is a password for it. Or if it is a ftps as a one, so we have to provide these all details. So if you are going to fetch the data from any other one, it will be and this will be the same, like fts not recommended. So this is not a best practice for it. And http, so if you give an https, what is the server, what is the port number, and what is the file path, what is the username, and what is the password for that path, we can give it. And if we give https, we can give these are all details. Or if you give scp, so these are all the file path. If you are going to integrate or any other with any other thing, so at that time if you want to data load, we can give the these are all stuff. This is the when the file type is when the type is file. If you give the jdbc, we can give what is a mid server, that is nothing but management implementation deployment server. That's a different one. So this is the one. So you don't configure anyone. The format, what is the format? I'm just going to have MySQL, the database name, the database port. If you are doing the any with the third party JDBC, the team they can provide these are all details. The, what is the username, password, and the server, and what is the query. If you want to all the roles in the table, we can give it a specific table. We can write that one, and we can write a SQL query statement for it. And if it is LDAP, we can give the what is the LDAP target, we can give it. And if it is a OIDC, we can give the format and all the stuff. And we don't use this one. And if it is a REST, we can give the REST action. And if it is a custom load by any script, we can write any script here. So this is the fundamentals about the how we can load data and data source and other stuff. So I hope you guys clear or any confusion. This import sets is a very important topic when we are loading a data. And that means if you are doing any integration, if you are doing the daily data load from the third parties, any other one, we will use the only this one in a sense, what I can say, this one in the sense is nothing but this import sets will be used for the same thing. Okay, I hope you guys clear or any queries. Very good. So yesterday, I hope you guys have done the task. Today, what happened? Try to create attachments, and those attachment attached to the data source. Try to upload the data, and also once the data is loaded, the hostel is true, and if the state is AP, then only the record has to insert it. If the state is not AP, the record should be ignored. Then target dot insert equal you can make as a insert ignore. That type of scripts you have to write it on before on after. I know if I tell also you guys can do, but you guys has to check in google or whatever it may be. You have to practice. If you have any doubt, just let me know, I will tell you. Okay, this is the task for you for today. Any queries related to task?